So we're actually getting straight into the draft phase, which I'm excited for because I know that. So for context, CEI has played against FIU before. They played them in the regular season. It was
a game.
It was a game that came and went. And so it's going to be interesting to see what the strategy for CEI is going against a team of effectively all Masters players, and how they try to combat that. So as soon as we get a few more bans and we can turn to that and just see.
Speculation.
Yeah.
So from your experience, because I wasn't there for the previous games against FIU, what did you notice about them specifically that gave CEI a hard time?
I think maybe some of it could have been like the mentality of seeing that rank on the other side of the
intimidation factor.
Yeah. And so I think that maybe there was some of that, but FIU is a team that when an opening to pounce on a mistake is given them, they do so. And so they're very coordinated in that way. And they're very aggressive as well. And so that was something that was actually kind of a joy to watch, was to see how coordinated yet aggressive they were moving forward.
I gotcha. So they were the team that set the tempo for the entirety of the match, and CEI was basically forced to follow it. Wow, starting off with a strong first pick. So I don't know if you're familiar with that character.
I'm not.
His entire mechanic is you can just refuse to die.
Sorry, I'm getting updates about potential stream. Continue.
So, something based off of what you said, I'm expecting to see a very aggressive, very all-in comp to see. And thus far, if I see a Trindamir, if they get a Nautilus or a Rel support, there's going to be some definite problems in the water CEI unless they're able to counter their engage here.
Yeah.
But we will see.
So there was rumors of, lol guys, should we choose Bard? kind of thing. And so to see a Bard pick come through, I am speculating. I think that's going bot lane.
That seems like a fair speculation. Which is kind of crazy because I was talking to the boys just a second ago and they didn't even mention Bard.
Yeah, so that's a pick that I'm not too sure where and which lane that's going to live.
My prediction is it's going to be support. They're going to get hit by Twisted Fate Gold card and they are going to die. No offense, but it is Bard.
Yeah, fair play. So,
but if they get a good flanking jungler in here, Bard can open up some real options for ganking purposes.
Yeah. So I'm just going over real quick just to see what all the bans have been thus far. Okay, so Jhin I would anticipate is the ADC, which we know is
Bacon. Right?
Yeah. Correct. Yes.
And from what I'm aware, he's pretty competent on Jhin from what I have seen in the previous games.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, and I say this sounding like I'm gonna absolutely roast Bacon, and I don't necessarily intend to do so, but maybe this is. The ult usage, there was some questionable ults from the ADC, and I want to say that was on Jhin.
That was on Jhin where he would.
And so I'm hoping that that's been cleaned up a wee bit, so to say.
For those who are unaware, he would ult in the wrong directions next to assassins twice in the previous match.
It was really the proximity in which he was ulting that was cause for concern.
Mean 2 feet away. And Bacon, this is with love. Trust me, all of us have been there at one point or another.
I'm still there.
Because you play so much League.
too much League. More than I would like to admit.
You've played one whole tutorial match.
Actually, I have played way more than that recently.
You're getting into League?
No, stop. Let's not go down this road.
Tucker, buddy, old pal
No.
of mine, let me welcome you into this.
Someone needs to
euphoric
coddle
hell.
my brain and my mental health ASAP before it gets out of hand.
I mean, come on, you play Valorant, you play Overwatch, you know what it's like.
Name any
Okay, these are
esport.
some interesting teams here.
Yes. So early speculations. What are you seeing?
So, what I'm noticing, at least in terms of teams, is that FIU, with the exception of Tryndamere and Gragas, has very, very weak laners early on. However, their scaling is really high and their utility is absolutely high. But it seems like CEI is going for a very similar comp idea, which is roam and impact the map by just having sheer numbers. Talia has an ability that lets her go across the map. Twisted Fate has a teleport. Bard has portals. And obviously Kled ult, which can move entire squads across the map.
Yeah.
Means there's going to be, at least if done properly, a lot of roaming between the lanes.
It's going to be interesting to see. I know that there's been, a lot of prep on the side of CEI. And I know that they are hopefully optimistic moving forward. And so I'm just curious to see what kind of game that we get.
I wouldn't say optimistic, but I would say hopeful.
I say the hopefully optimistic with a touch of sarcasm, but
hopefully aware of their situation.
I think so. Yes.
Revenge is definitely going to be something that is going to be a motivational factor here.
100%. Yes. I would absolutely agree with that. And so it's going to be interesting, especially from my point of view, just to see maybe what the growth has looked like over the course of the season. Because again, this is a rematch, and so.
And it was from the very beginning of the season, correct?
Toward the beginning, yeah, correct. The only losses on the season coming from this FIU and then University of Idaho, yes. So
I was gonna say ISU, and I'm like, they're not a part of this league at the moment.
Correct. So, yeah, it's going to be good. I am excited, to say the very least.
And mind you, these games aren't for small keeps right now. This is semifinals, which means whoever wins the next 2 out of 3 matches does get to move on to the finals.
That's right. And no, not a prize pool necessarily associated with this division, but it's something to build just immense confidence with moving into precisely, and reputation moving into the off season, because this is kind of like a stepping stone. This is a good way to kind of gauge where are we as a team, how did the season go, and where do we hope to be moving into the spring season. So,
and not only that, this is from a fairly large organization that works with Riot Games about these, so it's a good opportunity for potential sponsors or team coaches that would work with the CI if they view there being potential,
potentially, yeah.
Then again, it's still fairly local though.
For sure. And I think it holds more meaning in a local sense as U of I is on the other side of the bracket, and they're always looking to continue to build out their rosters with improving and better players, and so sometimes that can be found motivation as well for the team. So another lovely 25 seconds. We almost seamlessly spoke through the entire spectator delay setup without mentioning it, and I tripped at the very end.
We're at the very end, and it feels so long, and I just want to see the game.
I know. I am right there with you.
But I am excited to see this. My prediction is going to be Marmalade's going to have Prio on waves, but Miss Engineer is going to struggle in lane against Tryndamere. Yeah. Those are going to be my 2 main predictions for this game.
So this is your CEI League of Legends varsity squad heading into game number 1 here in the NACE divisional playoffs. So really excited to see how they perform and how they step up to this tall task.
Plate.
Yes, exactly. Alrighty. Officially in.
And we are all set up and good to go.
Lovely.
Ooh, except for one. Don't know why that popped back up, but
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
Sweet.
Okay, looks like things are starting off already with a small scuffle potentially in top lane. But it looks like FIU does not want to deal with that right now.
Fair play.
But it looks like both teams have decided that an early scuffle would not be advantageous to either of them, so they're just gonna... Unless, it looks like FIU is trying to pull something up at top lane. This engineer might be worried here if they're not paying enough attention here. Marmalade potentially close enough to help, but now they're moving away. Run! 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 Oh my god, he doesn't notice.
Oh, and that's 3 there right off the bat. That is...
Oh, that is gonna... My prediction's already coming true. I do not appreciate this. But...
absolutely unfortunate. First blood going the way of FIU, and Marmalade just looking to retreat back to the mid lane.
just as minions hit lane, giving Tryndamere undisputed prio, with Tryndamere only having to use his flash, using his ghost, and his engineer down a flash summoner, which not looking good. And it looks like Shadekeeper is getting counter jungled with Gragas taking red buff. Maybe a potential level 2 gank here from Gragas with the Tryndamere onto Misengineer, but that is speculation on my part. But it looks like bot lane is doing a fair bit of poking, taking advantage of Aphelios' weak level 1. But Misengineer is just going to struggle in lane against the oppression that is Tryndamere,
which is massively unfortunate. And honestly, just again, like I say, just very well coordinated by FIU, and we see that in the very earliest stages of the game. And I see Dill Wavis kind of pushing forward for a potential pinch here, and I don't know if it's going to be onto Marmalade in the mid lane. If so, a potential yikes.
Yeah, unfortunately, even though Tryndamere did not have item advantage, it looks like just you're up and down. It looks like Shadekeeper is going to go for a gank, mixes both hooks, and it looks like they might die here. Just barely tries to escape, but it just was not enough, and it looks like Aphelios is going to get out here.
Wow. Big Shrimpin almost able to hit on the smile, but is going to be
Renata
punished in return.
Killing the 80s. Oh.
And Bacon just too slow to try to finish off Smile 7 there. So that's already 5 kills the way of FIU, with approaching a 3k gold lead right off the rip here.
3 minutes. Omens seem bad, but it looks like the intimidation still remains. Honestly, once Shadekeeper had missed those 2 Qs, I don't think there was anything that could be done there.
I can respect the attempt, but we're getting to the point where it needs, the execution needs to have the necessary follow through, and I think that's going to be one of the biggest things that the team takes away from this season, especially playing against the likes of FIU and University of Idaho, is that it's not necessarily the idea and knowing how to play the game, it's being able to really execute on the team fundamentals, and I think that's going to be something that they should take away ultimately.
Oh, absolutely. At a higher level of play, such as a tournament like this, team coordination and clear communications and understanding what your goal is and how to execute it is always pivotal.
So far, it seems like the most stable part for CEI is going to be the mid lane and with Marmalade.
But if it just stays as a farm fest, unfortunately Marmalade will be at a disadvantage. Thanks to Twisted Fate's passage of generating gold based off of what he kills, regardless of how well Marmalade farms, Twisted Fate will just always have more money. And considering the pressure that top lane has and bot lane has already, if Marmalade doesn't get the Sphere of Influence out immediately, FIU, I expect, will just slowly, well, maybe not even slowly, just take over the entire game.
Yeah, that's a good stun in return. It looked like Javi perhaps, was looking for an opportunity to strike on the Marmalade, but not able to do so. One thing that I do wonder, and something that we've seen is objective priority with CEI. And so I'm just very curious to know what the execution on CEI's end for the objectives will look like. And if they'll even be given an opportunity to fairly,
Try to
contend.
test them.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Well, and that is something you have to keep in mind is that already with the 3.2k gold lead, FIU has in essence, a full item up on CEI at 5 minutes, which
Yeah, fair.
at a certain point can just make the entire game incredibly hard for them to ever try and get best for. And it looks like Hobby from mid lane is ganking the bot lane using Twisted Fate ult to get under tower, but it looks like Big Shrimpin is able to stun the Renata under tower, getting a kill for CEI. Unfortunately dies in return from Twisted Fate. It looks like Enrito and Shadekeeper are both fighting in the top lane, trying to stop Miss Engineer from dying. Getting a free kill on Tryndamere, who tried to cheese with his ult against the Kled.
A decent response as far as trying to trade in the top lane. And Marmalade is going to just zoom on down to the bottom lane to see if he can't pick up a kill here.
He has no mana, but it does give Bacon the opportunity to kill off Aphelios. This, with a couple of shutdowns, I believe this will help CEI standing, but the gold gap still remains a little bit under 3k for them despite the 3 shutdowns they just claimed. However, it does show that there is still hope that if they can play off these, if they can do these properly, they can do it with relatively low casualties. Something else to keep in mind is that if you look at currently what CEI is focusing on, they are really working towards mobility and defensiveness, except for Shadekeeper. In the essence of trying to be able to just escape their opponents at a moment's notice or just make them do less damage, especially with Miss Engineer in the top lane, getting a golden smell to stop Tryndamere from running them down. But at the same time, FIU already has so many component items and they're fairly close to getting their mythics already.
Yeah, I would say not all hope is lost on the side
absolutely.
of CEI. But again,
They have to play so carefully.
yes, FIU, as is norm, just very, very organized.
Looks like with that play in bot lane, CEI no longer has heal in case another fight comes up. I think the real game decider of what happens next in bot lane is who hits 6 first, which I believe should be FIU. However, Miss Engineer is just trying to stop Tryndamere from going on them, but a level gap is starting to form.
Yeah, I believe that was 2. I believe it was 8 to Enrito in top lane. Yep,
6.
6 to Miss Engineer. So
Which is super important because every level difference is roughly 600 gold worth of stats, considering they already have as much. And it looks like another fight's going in bot lane. If they can stop the Renata from getting an assist here, they can keep her down and out of the fight. They barely managed to get the Renata out for the fight, and it looks like Bacon is going to try and survive here with Shadekeeper finishing up Aphelios, but unfortunately, Smile 7 gets a double kill off the bot lane there.
the trades did go back and forth, and so I mean, overall, even trades as far as player count is concerned. But yeah, like you said, that is the entirety of the bot lane going down. And Marmalade actually here in mid lane, that's going to be just teamed up on.
Yeah, Marmalade unfortunately got TF gold carded into a Gragas ult. And it looks like Tryndamere using his ult gets a cheesy kill off in the top lane. And that is why Tryndamere is an issue.
Wow. I expected Turret at some point to kick in and do something, but
So
here I
that's
am
how
as
it's
ignorant as
supposed
ever.
to work, but
Yes.
Tryndamere, his ultimate, makes him unkillable for 5 full seconds.
Love that. That's so
And
cute for him.
If you time that with Renata, you can keep him in his undead state for 9 seconds.
First dragon.
Goes to CEI actually,
Yeah.
thanks to Shadekeeper managing to take it away from.
Oh, Smile did
that
actually
fight.
pick up Bacon. But Bard able to take down Smile in return and get the
Oh, it
shutdown.
looks like an absolute brawl fest in bot lane as Marmalade ults in and Shadekeeper tries to go for a gank here. Not sure if Marmalade will be able to get anything off here.
I don't know. It may have been a misstep.
Oh, but Shadekeeper going back in. It looks like they're really trying to commit for these kills here. And it looks like this engineer in the top lane is just trying his best to stop the 2v1 in top lane. But it looks like TF did go down. Marmalade dies to the FIU support, and top lane has lost their first tower thanks to Rift Herald from Gragas.
Holy crap.
The action is already pumping.
I know, we're approaching 11 minutes, and yes, an 8-kill lead to FIU, and
a 6.5k gold lead.
Yes,
It is going to be very difficult for CEI to make plays here. And it looks like Bacon is trying to take down the Aphelios. A little bit of a late ult from Shadekeeper, but hopefully he can finish this off here. If he lands his next Q, Smile 7 is dead, but I don't know if he'll reach in time, especially with the Gragas here. And TF is here, stopping Shadekeeper from even going in here. Aphelios ult trying to get a cheeky kill on Shadekeeper.
He will go down.
He does go down. A 2v1 turned into a 4v2 into a 4v3, and CEI gets out-coordinated here thanks to the quick timing of Twisted Fate.
Yes, the rotations are just excellent from FIU. They're just there when their teammates need them, and just able to provide that man advantage at a moment's notice when it comes to the fighting.
Yeah, and another thing is, when they win that, Trindamir's just off in his own lane getting a bunch of resources for himself and nobody's really answering. And he does have ult up here, so if he really feels like he can kill Bark here, he could just ult and try and kill both of them under the tower here, which he does look like he is going to attempt to do. With him trying to at least take Shadekeeper out with him, but he looks like it just barely didn't work out for him there.
Well, after seeing the first ult in the top lane, I fully expected, you know, what should feel like the impossible to just totally come to fruition there. But it does take 3 CEI members to
stop him from killing one of them under their own tower, especially with the amount of CC they put down. But it looks like Miss Engineer is getting into a 1v2 thanks to Twisted Fate ult yet again, despite, I believe, possibly being able to win against Aphelios in a 1v1.
Wow.
But it just doesn't work out here.
I think Miss Engineer just thinking plenty of isolation, and I have an opportunity and a window to take down this FIU player, but not able to do so. Again, the coordination, the rotation, the ability just to be there for seemingly each and every fight.
Oh, absolutely. The way they're distributing their manpower is insane. And although you can see that the gold gap is leading ever more in the favor of
FIU.
FIU. They're also getting severe CS advantages, and as a result, increased levels, with them being an average of 1 to 2 levels up on the entire team of CEI.
Yeah.
Which the tier 2 ult's about to come out is going to be a real issue for them to overcome.
Yeah, it's just going to be too much damage
'Cause
on the field.
If you thought 5-second death immunity at 90 seconds was rough, wait until it reaches 40 seconds.
Yeah, no thank you.
And it looks like there's going to be another scuffle in bot lane as Twisted Fate, Gragas, and Trindamir get a cheeky double kill off using Gragas' barrel to get them out of under tower. With Gragas getting another 2 kills leading to a quadra kill. If he was somehow top lane, Enrito could have gotten a penta there.
Oh my goodness.
Another little fun fact for you about Trindamir.
Yes.
His passive is, you notice how there's a red bar underneath his health.
Oh, yeah.
Based off the mount that has failed, he gets free crit chance.
Oh, well, alright.
So he is very much known to be a cheesy lane bully based off of what I personally call the RNG enjoyers of League of Legends.
Yeah, fair.
It is very hard to come back from a character like that when they have such a huge lead. But if CEI can somehow make, in my opinion, a couple of very dangerous, reckless plays and gets a shutdown here or there, they might be able to come back into this. But the gold lead is 12k at this point.
Insane. Insane is what it is. One of the things that we were looking at pre-game was, okay, well, roughly what was the average game for FIU over the course of the season? And it averaged roughly, I would say, 16 to 19 minutes. And
so it's very common for them to end games early. But it looks like CEI is going for the second Drake. Maybe they're trying to get the objective lead here. Maybe if they can get that, they can try and secure game 1 of 3. But I'm not so sure how well that'll work out, especially with Tryndamere rushing in, flashing, and using his E to try and get on top of CEI's member. But it looks like they're all going to commit to try and kill Tryndamere. With 5 people going into a 5v3, they take down Tryndamere. Renata's almost dead. Twisted Fate and Renata both flash away, leading to a double kill for Marmalade here. Potentially a third kill if they... Oh, but it looks like Marmalade's TPing mid to stop the Felios from getting mid tower. CEI securing second Drake and getting 2 shutdowns off of that play there. One being from Tryndamere and one from Twisted Fate. And it looks like a Big Shrimp is trying to 1v1 the ADC, or at least annoy them. And quickly backing off.
Perhaps annoy. Perhaps annoy. Maybe just show presence.
Looking for some chimes, looking to haggle for a couple bucks off of the Fast Travelers. And it looks like currently Shadekeeper and Miss Engineer are going to try and 1v2 the Gragas. They need to stop him from using this berry to get away here. But it looks like they might just be able to get out here.
It actually looks like another 2 members for CEI attempted to come down.
True, but with Dill Wavis having Rift Herald, he gets his enhanced recall off, utterly bamboozling CEI.
Just a quick thank you to everybody supporting the game tonight. It is going to be a tough game, and I'm sure that you can see that thus far. It is a tough game for CEI, and I say that, and we have another scuffle.
4v1 in top lane against the Tryndamere. It is very clear that CEI has a grudge against that man specifically.
That man specifically, indeed.
But it looks like FIU is ready to scuffle and trying to get an advantage here. I would highly recommend CEI get out of here in this instance. But it looks like the little gremlin with his shotgun is going to try and kill TF here, but it just does not work.
I will say, I don't know if it was, but it definitely seemed intentional. Oh, the snipe from Smile under the
absolutely.
On the Marmalade there.
On top of that, with Javi's teleport, he's able to secure the gold card onto Shadekeeper, preventing him from using his ult in this absolutely crucial team fight, which will probably lead to 2 towers and an inhibitor being taken, since only Big Shrimpin's left alive. I don't know if he can stop them from taking tower and inhibitor here.
Yeah. I don't know.
It looks like he's going to absolutely try to do so, but with tower down, TF's going to gold card him. Uses Bard ult on both characters. Maybe they're going to try. Big Shrimpin barely managed to live here, and TF at a very low HP.
Opportunity.
Jin, you need to land the bullet. Land the bullet. Looks like they're going to settle for the Renata. Hopefully try and get the Aphelios out of this game. Goes after Shadekeeper here, as they all focus on the Aphelios. Using his absolutely amazing movement here, his micro movements to make sure that nobody can hit him with any of the CC. He is utterly just breaking the ankles of most people. But
yeah, absolutely.
But Miss Engineer does manage to get the 1,000 gold shut down off the Aphelios. TF TP's in and kills Bacon, and it looks like he is currently leaving, and Gragas might be here to pull out some shenanigans using a barrel.
Oh, shenanigans.
And it looks like TF, it looks like Tryndamere's here, and Big Shrimpins is just kind of messing with the enemy Gragas as it currently stands. I think CEI realizes that they might not win this first match, but they can at least enjoy themselves a little bit before the game ends.
And if we're looking at silver linings, maybe that is the silver lining. It's like, guys, we're getting absolutely owned here. Let's just have a bit of a giggle.
Let's get goofy with it.
Yes, let's go down giggling together. I can respect it if that is the case, but yes, it is.
However, I could be entirely wrong considering how much they just seem to hate Shadekeeper here, with him getting absolutely pelted with so much CC here. But it looks like Tryndamere is going to try and go in for another 1v4.
Is this the 42nd? Oh.
It looks like they do manage to take him down for a 3rd time in a row without him getting any kills. Enrito playing very, very careless, I would say, with his life. And CEI just backing off. But
perhaps it feels like bullying. It feels like that's the one aspect in this game that CEI might be able to, I don't know, bully. So
I mean, to be fair, Eastern Idaho players. And we all know what they deserve. A happy life, I swear.
Yes, absolutely.
But, however, despite all the gold Tryndamere has kindly donated to CEI, the gold gap has increased ever further, and so have the level gaps. See Miss Engineer going in with a very questionable engage here, leaving the rest of their teammates to try and hold
goodness, get
off.
sniped.
Smile 7 using a massive ult. Apologies for the minor technical
Yeah,
difficulties.
my deepest apologies, everybody. I
Holding
am
back
sorry.
the amateur streamer. But it does look like, after all the technical difficulties, that CEI has lost another inhibitor and another 2 towers. And the gold gap has surprisingly dropped to roughly 10k from the 13k mark. I believe at this point FIU is getting ready for their final assault, probably prepping Baron and going for an end game, since CEI's defenses are completely shattered. Oh no. TF preparing an ult to catch other team members. It looks like CEI is immediately responding with 3 ults onto the man, killing Twisted Fate, but it looks like Smile 7 has been put up into the perfect position, leading to a first kill, potentially into a second onto Miss Engineer. Second kill onto Miss Engineer from Smile 7 as the rest of CEI retreats and hoping of just holding back the enemy for as long as they can.
Absolutely unfortunate. Absolutely unfortunate.
Big Shrimp been trying to use a Bard ult to delay the enemy, but at this point CEI can do nothing as Smile 7 utterly decimates their backline.
Wow. Wow.
Kudos to Smile 7. His movement was really on point.
Played absolutely insane, and that is match number 1 going the way of FIU. Again, I do apologize for the slight technical difficulty there. I'm glad that we were able to come back and catch at least the finish of the game.
Yeah.
So I would imagine there might be a little bit of a break in between. And so we're going to just assume so, and we will be back as quickly as the teams are available to do so. So we'll be right back, everybody. Alrighty.
More of a dog person, huh?
Straight into the draft, my friends.
Here we are in game 2 of the semifinals of CEI versus FIU.
Yes, sir.
After a little bit of a stop from the previous game, I'm really hoping CEI gets the second win and really uses the salt to rub into their wounds in order to beat their enemies. That makes no sense.
No, but I think we could piece it together to figure out where you were wanting to go with that one.
I'm only about 3 pieces short of a 10-piece puzzle box.
That's okay. We may have lost him along the way. That's all right, though. So
Real question is, did we ever have it in the first place?
So yeah, fair enough. So yeah, I can understand the Affilios ban after what we saw last game.
Yes.
Yeah.
Although Smile 7 used a rather unorthodox build from what I've seen from standard Affilioses, it's too much of a threat to just let it be.
Well, yeah, when they're that practiced and they've got that kind of movement with Affilios as well,
Absolutely.
it was
pixel perfect for some of the stuff they were dodging.
Yeah, absolutely. So interesting that we see. Well, okay, tell me. You know I'm ignorant when it comes to League of Legends, and so I've been receiving a free education over the duration of the season. Briar wouldn't necessarily be picked for top lane, correct?
She can theoretically be picked into top lane. She's a very, we'll say, cheese pick. Fundamentally, she works a lot like Tryndamere in lane, high healing, and then you just run your enemy down. However, it could be that they play Jax top here and Briar jungle in hopes of getting that rundown effect elsewhere on the map, but we will have to see how the rest of the team forms.
Fair play. And then I want to say we've seen Lucian not necessarily be played in mid by Marmalade, but that's usually something that's gone bot lane.
I would assume Bacon would be playing Lucian, yeah. Very standard ADC, and based off the way his kit works, I would assume they would choose an Enchanter support. But the question is which one, because I don't think the Bard pick will be necessarily effective here.
Fair play.
Looks like he's not even allowed in the first place.
Yeah, well.
Apparently they said, you know what? No Bard. No Pled. No Mumu. No choice.
Impure fools.
Okay.
But it really looks like CEI is banning out a lot of the more troublesome ADCs. I think they really fear Smile 7 here.
Well, rightfully so. After what we just saw last game, I mean, we should have checked. I didn't even see how many kills.
17-6.
Excellent. Right, fair play.
At the very end of the match, he had roughly 350 bounties, despite having lost 2,000 bounties previously.
Wow.
I can remember that, but I can't remember how to do calculus.
that's okay. When will
Shall
you
I
ever
turn in
use
my badge
calculus?
and rifle as well?
When I go back to college.
Fair play.
AK in like 2 months.
Yeah. Right on. It is what it is.
It is what it is. But it looks like CEI might be trying out an alternate strategy. The previous games, it looks like the high mobility of both teams collapsing in team fights wasn't necessarily working in their favor after the very strong early lead that FIU presented.
I did see a raised eyebrow after the Vex pick. Was that because of the Vex pick, or what was the thought there? Oh, interesting. This is actually 2 comfort picks for Bacon and Big Shrimpin. So now I don't know who's going where.
So
I'm gonna be real with you.
Jax is going to be in jungle. It looks like Briar is going to be in top lane based off of who's playing them. But the raised eyebrow definitely is from Vex support. So it looks like FIU is going to be playing very similar to they did previously. Talia ult basically replaced TF ult. Vex ult to replace basically TP from top lane. So if CEI doesn't play very careful, they'll be put into the same trap they were last game without,
Okay.
you know, the bailout of having Talia being able to show up to all the fights. But we will see how that turns out, because by the looks of it, they're going to be playing CEI's bot lane will be playing Fasting Senna, which very, very popular playstyle that was made a couple years back. So in this instance, Bacon 38 will no longer be really receiving the resources of bot lane, which just kind of leads Big Shrimpin to focus on the farm and Bacon basically to survive whatever they throw at him.
Yeah. So based on what we're seeing coming out from FIU, what might be some like early speculation, like what might be something to look out for on the side of from the perspective of CEI rather?
Definitely level 1 invades and potentially a level 2 gank from Echo into the top lane, like previously established, except the Gragas didn't do a level 2 gank.
Sure.
If the Darius is able to establish a lead here very early against Engineer, there's no coming back from that without help. And considering the rest of his team are pretty much glass cannons except for the Jax, it's going to be very difficult for CEI to take any of the damage unless they're able to dodge it all, which is going to be very difficult considering how wide the AoE is for a lot of their characters.
Yeah, fair play. And now, again, someone who doesn't know the game in and out, I know that I've seen Echo and Talia played in the mid lane, so obviously only one of those can be utilized in that way.
Mid lane.
Okay, interesting. So then where would Echo tend to default to?
He is typically a jungler, although he can be played mid lane.
Okay.
Echo and Talia can both be swapped fairly easily because they both basically do the same job. But the way this is going to work is, since Echo really has that ability to close gaps, I would have to assume that Echo's efforts are going to be focused initially in top lane to get that early lead for Darius,
Sure.
and
sure.
then forced into the bot lane to stop them from being able to scale it all. Because once Ashen, for every person in lane except Talia, once they've established a lead, they're going to be a threat for the enemy later for the whole game. But since it's Talia versus Lucian, As long as they're careful about Talia's minefield, they should be relatively fine.
Okay. And so then, would you anticipate that we're going to see Lucian in the mid lane? And if that is the case, then I know that Marmalade is familiar with the opposition that they'll find in the mid lane, that being Talia, or Talia, sorry. And so I'm hoping that Marmalade will be able to, you know, see like what the movement is going to be and like what the fights will look like heading into game number 2.
Oh, absolutely. Because considering the amount of utility Talia has, it leaves CEI with a conundrum. And at least I can guess what the answer is. They realized front-loading tankiness and utility isn't always going to be useful. So it looks like they're going to focus all of the damage and responsibility of preventing their team from collapsing to 1 to 2 people, and then just absolutely overload the enemy team with damage. So we'll see how well that works out.
Lovely.
Lovely bubbly.
Actually, let me turn off Lo-Fi Nation. Apologies, everybody.
Lo-fi beats to watch people destroy each other too.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
But it looks like the game is starting, and it looks like CEI is going to go for the early invade this time, considering they have all 5 grouped up. It looks like they're going to be entering through southern jungle. But at the same time, FIU was doing the same thing on the opposite side of the map.
Yeah, I have to wonder if this is just like, let's full send, fellas. What's the worst that can happen at this point?
Well, I mean, CEI has already gotten 1 summoner out of IFU, so as long as they don't spend too much here, at least if they also don't fail the level 1 fight, CEI can take advantage of that at least a little bit for keeping their lane safe. But it looks like they're going to be continuing fighting level 1. Echo going to be securing the CEI's blue side, but I'm not so sure how the rest of this fight is going to turn out. It is a 5v4 in favor of CEI, but it appears people are backing off now, kind of making a question what the point of going in was in the first place.
Yeah, not a lot happening there.
Yeah.
Not as effective as maybe they were hoping for that to be.
It looks like Briar is going into the jungle with Shadekeeper being the top laner this game. And it looks like Marmalade is going support.
I am so confused. I don't know what's happening. Because now we're seeing Big Shrimp and who we saw in bot lane as support,
I am stupefied.
playing mid lane. And so now we have Marmalade
Being ADC duty with Bacon as support.
This is the ultimate full send. Disregard anything you've ever seen so far this season.
I mean, I respect the Gusto. I mean, if they take advantage of this here, this is a double kill for Marmalade. But it looks like the enemy has flashed out with Vexen being left. Shadekeeper trying to beat the living matter.
Thank you for thinking twice. I appreciate you. Unfortunately, Shadekeeper will go down to Inrito by the hands of Darius. They're in the top lane. However,
but it looks like Miss Engineer might be able to just get a kill off on Echo, but it looks like Echo's going to try and carry it away. But Shadekeeper is also coming up, which should force the Echo to give a kill at least to one of them.
Interesting.
Leading to a kill for Shadekeeper, but no assist for Miss Engineer. However, at the same time, bot lane has... Oh, it looks like Miss Engineer is going down at the moment, but Shadekeeper might be able to clean this up here. Able to get a second kill if they can just get on the Darius without him healing too much. But he has to be very careful for Darius passes, but it looks like Shadekeeper gets a second kill, leading to
what
a 2-1
is happening?
already. I don't know.
Quentin, what is happening? I don't know.
My brain is mush, but Marmalade dying to the early cheese of the enemy bot lane, as well as
That's unfortunate.
Bacon. They
That's
went a
actually
little ham,
unfortunate.
but they did it at the wrong times. They kind of abandoned each other. Big Shrimpin just kind of trying to live in the mid lane, but it looks like they're going down too. My brain hurts.
My brain is suffering from what we like to call confusion. Nobody's playing their roles. Everybody's everywhere else.
It's a fiesta, man.
The trades have been going back and forth.
And the worst, well, I wouldn't say the worst. The best part is the ADCs from the previous rounds have swapped from non-ADCs into different carries, and now the supports are ADCs.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. This makes it all the more entertaining for what game number 2 has to offer. And, you know, how can they counter you if you counter yourself?
It reminds me of a very famous quote. How will the enemy counter our move if we don't know what we're doing ourselves?
Precisely, and
But it looks like Darius is going to try and go on a kill here on Shakekeeper. Shakekeeper trading back. But Darius has the level to advantage. I don't think Shakekeeper wins here.
I don't think so either. I think that was a very
definitely
eager
tries,
attempt.
but it appears mid lane doesn't have prio. Top lane's definitely struggling with trying to deal with the Darius, considering the already forming lead CS lead gap.
How interesting.
Bot lane being what I would assume a ridiculous amount of chaotic energy. But it looks like Miss Engineer has secured at least the HP in mid lane to have advantage, but it looks like bot lane is currently running away from Bacon and Marmalade are running away from the enemy bot lane here, with Miss Engineer trying to go for a kill here. Gets it, but dies in exchange, securing mid lane prio, maybe for a tower play.
What did it cost him?
Everything.
That's right.
Except Ghost.
Thank you to everybody tuning in for game number 2. Yes, Techni.
Potentially 3.
Potentially 3. I appreciate your hopeful optimism, but the boys will fight till the very end, and that is something that I can appreciate. So,
Bacon getting
yeah.
chugged out by the Vex.
Yeah. Technically, no, we did not win. Thank you, Disco Ninja 2, for replying to him. Hats off to Disco Ninja. I hope that U of I did well. I would imagine it was a bit of a cakewalk for your game. Sorry, go ahead.
It looks like Bacon dies as they get targeted under tower, but Miss Engineer comes in to secure the kill on the enemy support Ashe. Looks like top lane is, looks like Shakekeeper is struggling against a Darius as he just secures the wave control at all costs, leaving Shakekeeper with little choice in being able to fight back. This really is hurt. Like, no offense to anybody in this game, this is really hurting my
I'm not used to
trying
it.
to understand what people are doing, and it's just not working.
I'm just not used to it. I'll be honest with you.
To be fair, it's League.
Fair play.
But it looks like Big Shrimpin's getting attacked by the enemy support, as well as Javi the mid laner barely survives with probably what I would assume negative HP, but it looks like Shakekeeper is going to attempt to try and hold off Enrito from taking tower, but it looks like he's going to proxy and secure a gank with the help of his jungler. If Shakekeeper can get level 6 here, he might be able to fight off the tower dive, but it looks like Talia is also showing up. This could be a very dangerous position for Shakekeeper.
I
He's
sense
not super careful.
I sense tilt incoming. Why are they here?
Well, it looks like he does die to the 3v1. Does force the Echo to back out there with the smallest amount of HP, but unfortunately, he's just not in the position to be able to fight back super hard here.
The silver lining thus far? It was worse.
That was true.
Of
In the previous game, it was a 3k gold lead at 3 minutes. Oh, the enemy Vex ADC missing their ult. Looks like the Darius is going to get a potentially double kill here up in the top lane. Shakekeeper trying to get within jump range, but it looks like bot lane also suffering a similar fate, leading to almost a double kill for Vex, with Bacon being at the smallest amount of HP, leading to his death from the Vex splash.
Was it worth it?
No, it was not.
What did it cost him?
His life.
Yeah, facts. And I say that, and yes, it's a 7-kill lead favoring FIU. And again, the silver
Now
lining.
starting to look like the previous game.
Yes, I was about to say the silver lining that perhaps we could have utilized as some sort of narrative has passed. It has come and gone. It is looking much like game number 1 early on. That being said, not all is totally lost.
That is true. CEI picked a very scaling comp here. If they can get to potentially the 3-item mark or potentially at 25 minutes into the game, they could really start to see some comeback here. But we will see. Looks like Miss Engineer is using Vexel to travel across the map in hopes to try and contest the enemy drag. But it looks like they will unfortunately the Echo will escape and allow FIU to get a little bit of priority in these fights here. And it looks like Echo is coming back. CEI trying to secure the Drake. Unfortunately, he dies. Echo going in to steal the Drake. Oh no! CEI getting lambasted in a 4-for-1 and a Drake in favor of FIU.
Oopsie daisies. I don't know what else to say.
Oopsie. We will
That was a mega oopsie whoopsie if I ever saw one.
My client claims oopsie daisy. You can't convict him. And it looks like Shakekeeper going down, trying to fight Darius just outside of tower range. I think the tilt is starting to set in the terms of CEI, with Marmalade ulting to secure the wave bot lane, taking half his HP in return from the enemy Vex.
My brain. Want to think I want to think that
CEI is not tilted.
Yeah, I want to think that, so I'm gonna believe it.
Well, the thing is, we never know what could potentially be going on in the minds of people, quote unquote, in the zone.
I like to think that it's a full send mentality here from CEI.
I mean, they kind of don't have a choice anymore, but they also don't have the pressure of having multiple people because, one, their TPs are gone, and two, they don't have like abilities that allow them to move over the map very fast, except for Vex, and we saw what happened at Dragfight for that.
Yep.
But it looks like they're going to just try and hold them off for as long as we can. And again, this is not to disparage CEI or something, because based off some statistics given to me by my good co-host, most teams don't even make it as far as CEI did last game, so we can definitely say that they're better than most teams FIU has fought previously.
With exception, and I know because Disco's here in the chat, with exception to U of I would be the exception to that rule.
U of I definitely did kick some
they didn't end up with the win, but I would like to believe, because I wasn't able to see that game, I'd like to believe that U of I played them better.
I'm just gonna spread blasphemy. But, and to be fair, although I probably shouldn't discuss this, FIU probably shouldn't have been in this seed. I
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
Move on. We're here. We're having a good
looks
time.
like Bacon did get killed by the Talia, knocking him out of tower range, and it looks like FIU is relishing in the torment they are bringing about, as they already have a 10k gold lead at 12 minutes. And it looks like they're going to try and fight the Darius. It's not working out over there. It didn't work out in mid lane, as Big Shrimping has died to Smile 7. I think CEI has kind of are really panicking here, because they're distributing their manpower really lopsidedly and still losing these fights. Yeah. So they have to be absolutely careful.
Consistently worse for wear, unfortunately, and I would imagine that the mantra that perhaps is the theme for game number 2 is continuing to full send, and I am unsure about
Ash Arrow coming in, stopping Shadekeeper from being able to go into the Echo. The Echo attempting to stun Miss Engineer with his W, and it looks like Miss Engineer is going to go in to try and win a 1v2 here, but it looks like the Darius is just going to one-tap Miss Engineer as Marmalade and Shadekeeper run away, resulting in the death of all three potentially here, but they did get the Echo. Marmalade now dying due to Darius passive, and it looks like Big Shrimpin coming from behind. What is going on?
These are great questions. Ones that I will ponder for quite some time.
It looks like they're going to try. Oh, looks like Bacon is down. It looks like Miss Engineer is going back into the fray in hopes of taking down the Darius. Darius ults Big Shrimpin and going down to Leah. Looks like Shadekeeper's the next one going in for their stagger gameplay.
What is happening?
You know, there's one caveat that is useful for CEI here. Due to their relatively low levels, they respawn really quickly.
Is that the caveat? We
Well-
love silver linings here.
It looks like CEI just barely allows Enrito and Javi to escape. In the meantime, the rest of FIU is taking everything on the map, and it looks like Marmalade almost gets one-tapped by Talia already. With Miss Engineer going in, hopefully trying to get the 1v2 off, but dies just... Oh my god.
Yes.
I
have
would say
many
they
thoughts.
have definitely committed to the full semcon. And it looks like a Big Shrimpin is dying here thanks to Smile7 landing their ultimate. Shadekeeper coming in. Vex being able to escape thanks to Ash Arrow leading to several fear. And a flash over the wall.
The Vex do be dancing. Do be dancing everywhere.
Smile's movement from the previous game is still here, and it looks like the Vex almost gets a double here. Miss Engineer killing Vex. The Ashe support manages to lead, but it looks like FIU says, you know, you took one of our own. Let's send Darius to kill the rest of you.
Yup. So,
But it looks... Oh, Miss Engineer definitely dying here. Getting caught out thanks to Talia E. Shadekeeper dying to Darius and the enemy Talia. It looks like the full sentimentality just cannot function further for CEI as Big Shrimper just barely dodges the Ashe ult, but still almost dies from Talia throwing a single Q at them. I do believe that I think CEI is playing here just to hold them off as long as they can, intentionally hold low level just to see how long they can make FIU fight them. An interesting strategy, to be sure.
interesting strategy indeed. Effective? Nah.
Well, it's gone to the point where the AP ADC has decided to build AD items in order to mess with them more. But it looks like CEI does get a kill on the enemy support in exchange for their jungler. With them with FIU currently taking down mid lane tower. It looks like they're still able to fight back to a certain degree, but they can't make any mistakes. It looks like Bacon going down to Darius, allowing Darius to get a full stack passive. He could just completely kill the enemy team here if he plays this really cleanly. Killing Shadekeeper instantly, scaring off Miss Engineer. Miss Engineer going down. And Big Shrimpin died due to Talia and Vex previously in the fight slightly above. It looks like Echo is currently soloing with Rift Herald as the rest of FIU is taking mid.
The end is nigh, and to be fair, it's been
Predetermined.
yeah, for quite some time now.
With FIU reaching nearly a 20k gold lead and an average of 3 to 4 levels above CEI.
No big deal.
True. Absolutely true. You never know, they might have a power outage. And again, this is all jokes. I fully believe in my CEI boys, but I just don't think they have the resources to fight back. Because I do believe that CEI has not practiced this comp. It is kind of desynergistic given how they have structured their weapons.
Oh, 100%. The organization, as per usual, it's on the side of FIU. They've just been able to pounce on every opening and every opportunity provided by CEI and the Darius with the double kill and just able to get away.
Ult, no! Kill them! No, Smile, I'm not talking to you. but it looks like Miss Engineer is able to get a kill off and gets immediately obliterated by Talia E. No, doesn't do bad. You know, as long as they kill Darius again and Talia again, that's 2k gold.
There you go.
See, an even better caveat of these low respawn timers is if they do manage to get a kill from these plays, the reward is very much worth it, considering if a lot of CEI gets this, that's close to basically another full item. But it looks like the Echo is just currently trying to force a bot tower with Team CEI going in to secure his death. Him ulting in, one-tapping Bacon, then flashing away. Oh my god, they both dashed into the Talia minefield, triggering its effect and killing them both. Yeah, I gotta say this is rather unfortunate. It looks like the game has reached a point of conclusion, considering mid lane is now open and bot lane is about to also be open, leading to open inhibs, which I don't think CEI has the resources to clear super minions right now.
I don't think so either. I mean, to be fair, this game's been kind of wrapped for a moment now.
It's been over.
Yes, sir.
However, kudos to CEI for still trying to just persevere here despite every disadvantage being thrown their way. And it looks like FIU is just trying to establish dominance here by throwing everything they can at Team CEI and one-tapping them in every regard. And it looks like Darius is diving under both towers to try and kill Big Shrimpin, who is now the last survivor of Team CEI underneath tower, about to get unfortunately run down by the big man himself. I mean, I do believe this is probably the end. Team CEI is respawning due to their relatively low levels, but
to what avail? Truly.
Again, potential power hours. And it looks like Miss Engineer is going in. Unfortunately, still getting one tap. I think FIU is just kind of having fun letting them do whatever they want. And despite how bad this game may have gone for CEI, this is still 5 minutes longer than most teams have managed to last, as CEI has just been absolutely brawling the entire time.
I would argue playing with their food at this point, racking up the kills as high as they possibly can.
But even despite that, I mean, CEI still managed to kill them a couple of times. So, I mean, it could absolutely be worse. In terms of how much they're playing with their food, rather, I should probably preface that. But they did just kill 2 of them. That's 2,000 gold in CEI's pocket, and it looks like FIU is like, you know, you might have to get serious about this eventually. There's only so many thousands of gold we can give away.
Fair.
But it looks like Shakekeeper is the next to go down, and Dill Wave just absolutely absurd. Asserting dominance, making sure CEI realizes just how much of a menace he currently is with 3 full items. And it looks like Marmalade trying to kill the enemy support, flashes and uses culling to try and kill them. Big Shrimping down, Bacon potentially going next, but it appears minions have ended the game, giving FIU the second win and therefore securing their position in finals.
Yep. Congrats to FIU. Very well played. Good luck in the finals. I'm assuming against University of Idaho. That is going to be all from us here. And so just thanks again for everybody coming out and showing support. And that is going to be all from us.
Peace out.